Welcome to New Comic Book Wednesday. It is January 1st, 2020. Happy New Year, everybody. We got a lot of comic books. Not necessarily a big week this week, but still bigger than last week. Last week, at the end of the year, we got 5 books total. This week, we got a bit of a larger week. Unfortunately, many people were skipped across the country because Diamond decided to send some of the order, but not all of it. So I am missing a Daredevil that came out this week by Zdarsky, and I can't wait to read it. Personally, I did finally get a chance to read some of the books this week. Thor was amazing. X-Men was fantastic. Just read Marauders. It was good. So we have our regular crew with us tonight. We have with us tonight, say hello, Miracleman. How you doing tonight, brother? And Lady Fantastic. Hello, everybody. Oh, why isn't everybody here? Oh, there she is, and there he is. Lady Fantastic and Miracleman. Happy New Year, you two.
Happy New Year, dude.
Happy New Year, Rob.
So let's see who's joining us in the chat. We have with us Life with Two YouTubers along with Bubs Comics. The band is definitely all back together again today. And we also have Lady Fantastic also joining us in the chat room, along with my hiring attorney, Ricky Ricardo Rodriguez Vacas. Comic Books NYC. NYC, Happy New Year, dude. Along with us, still having Life with Two YouTubers. Good to see you. Still need to read Thor. We're going to be spoiling some things today, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad, but we're going to try and keep some things hidden so when you finally read that book, you feel like the rest of us. Let's see who else. We have Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. Awesome. And C. Woodard from Comic Core. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad for all those joining us in the chat room, and I thank those that watch us on the replay. So, as always, we want to wish you a Happy New Year. This is our crew. Our show is about comic books. If you've never seen it before, this is episode 20. And our discussion that we will be having later on tonight will be comic collecting goals of 2020. But since some of us got books yesterday because some shops decided not to be open on New Year's Day, so they let people come in to get books early. So some of us got it yesterday, some of us got it today, but I hope you wound up picking up some of those books because I want to know, starting off with Lady Fantastic, what did you get?
All of the books. I got all of the books. So my store actually had a 20% off today. So I'm going to show you what I got because I got a lot of different types. So obviously I got the new Thor. I had to get this this one where it's like a, I don't know, what do you call it? It starts with an M.
Monochromatic? No.
Hodge.
Something like that, yeah. Whatever. And then the Thor, and this is, I've forgotten the last name of the guy's very late, but I don't know. I read it. It was really, really awesome, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride. I got this because these were really cheap, and this is really campy, and I just love it to death. Captain America 269, introducing Team America.
Killer book right there, man.
They're so great. I love it. And then this one I got from my buddy Steven Spock. He is a man who he's getting rid of basically all of his comics except his Reflection collection. He just wants to collect Reflection comics. So my job is to find him Reflection comics. So here is a Captain America 268, or 286, sorry, where you've got a Reflection. Obviously, Cap is in the crosshairs. And then this one is actually, I found this in the quarter bin the other day. A quarter bin for a Millennium thingamajigger.
Oh,
Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, Jimmy Olsen, and it's another Reflection, so that's for Spock Man as well. Picked this up today, like it was, $4 plus 20% off. You do the math, whatever. It's like $3.20. Here is, you guys remember this? So I ended up getting this it's the symbiote swap or whatever. What I don't know, some kind of dumb thing. I got it because of this.
Deathlock.
Very cool.
So this dude's after. Well, this dude did it after. Fuck. This is after Larson. I'm getting screwed up with it. Okay, sorry. And I got a What If Flash Gordon or Spider-Man.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I love those what ifs.
Oh man, I do too. And I got a What If Infinity Inhumans.
Nice.
I know. I'm really excited about that. This one I picked up because it was cheap and it was in addition to being 20% off. And I didn't have it. X-Men 275. It's just one I needed to get in my bank, my X-Men bank. So yeah, and then
is that like a spank bank?
It's my X-Men bank. I only make deposits. I never make withdrawals. So Wolverine. 187. This was what if it was $2.99 plus what 20% off is $2.40. So man, because it only goes up to 189, and this is a 187. I got the Batman Beyond 39. It's sorry for taking so long.
Okay.
I had to get the Hawkeye Free Fall to check it out. I was just a little interested. This, I only got it for the art, but it's because it's the same kind of art that was done in the 1602 series. And honestly, like, so I was telling the girl that was checking me out or whatever at the shop, I was like, dude, just look how beautiful this is. And I was like, you know, I said the thing that you had told me, Mr. Miracle or Miracleman or whatever.
Whatever your name is.
Whatever, Komodo. She was like, you know, I bet more people would like her if she looked like this more. And I was like, yeah. And then I said this thing that you said. I was like, but I can't knock her because she's brought people into shops.
Right.
So just know that I spread your word. Yeah. And that's all. That's all I've got.
Good hauls. Good hauls.
Thank you.
So it's the Christmas holiday, and during the holiday, we don't have work to do, so we wind up hitting the comic shop, picking up those extra books, and spending money that we really don't have to spend. This is why it's a good time if you want to buy those big books. Those desperate people, like probably myself, that have spent way too much, they're going to be selling those books so that they can recoup those costs. So, good time of year. Speaking, Miracleman, what did you get?
Well, I grabbed a few books from. This wasn't a big week for me for new books. I did grab a few, but I got caught up on a couple that I had sitting in the bin. First up that came out this week, Flash 85. Flash has been just such a solid title ever since the button. I've been picking it up, really enjoying it. I'm not normally a big Flash guy, but really enjoyed this series. Of course, I think like anybody else who bought a comic book today, I bought the first issue of Thor. You know, Donny Cates is essentially just printing money for Marvel. And, you know, more power to him. His stuff has been really, really enjoyable. He gets the characters. I hate to make these type of analogies or comparisons, I should say, but, you know, if there was a writer right now for Marvel that I thought was on par to DC, you know, somebody who gets Marvel the way a fan gets Marvel and is also extremely talented, you know, it's Donny Cates for Marvel and Jeff Johns for DC.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can put either one of those guys on any titles from either one of those publishers. You know, Marvel for Donny and DC for Jeff, respectively, and they're printing money. X-Men number 4. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, lady.
No, I was going to say, sorry. Those are good names. And what you're about to throw up there, Hickman. Okay. And I would say like Aaron and Ewing are also two strong players in the Marvel world, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't
You
forget
give
about
either.
Zdarsky.
Zdarsky, I mean, he went from doing Howard the Duck to Daredevil. That's range,
Right.
dude. That's range.
Right.
Yeah, and he got banned from Twitter this week. We'll talk about that later. But go ahead, Miracleman.
He did. Oh yeah, Zdarsky. That is another one. I think I've said this before, and we're about to get hate mail for the show, but I am not a big fan of Spider-Man. Just not a character that ever appealed to me. No offense to the fans, I never got him. But Spider-Man Life Story was one of the best. I mean, I loved it. It was top of the read pile every time it came out. It was a great book, and Zdarsky.
Yep.
Yep.
And I agree.
Just a talented writer.
Last year, I thought that the best book of 2019, single storyline, beginning, middle, end, was Spider-Man Life Story. It wasn't the best Spider-Man book. It was the best comic book of 2019.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic.
Only thing that came close was Silver Surfer Black, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I mean, and I've been following Zdarsky myself for a while. I was reading his when that was coming out, and the guy's got I'll say this, an interesting mind. So New Mutants 4 get caught up. I think this actually came out week prior. I kind of like the first two issues really focused on the original New Mutants team, but the last two issues focused on the new X-Men team, the New Mutants of the new X-Men. And I kind of hope they keep doing this. Bring us stories about young new mutants, not necessarily young, but ones that aren't X-Men caliber or fully fledged warriors yet. I like that idea. And I think they're going to do more of that because they've shown a couple of other little groups, Emma Frost's school, Jean Grey's school. So I hope they keep doing that. And then I picked up a couple of a couple other newer ones I had missed out on. Venom 2099, 2099 Omega. Haven't read any of these yet. The Commissioner. Last two issues of Avengers, because honestly, Avengers is kind of dragging a bit for me. No offense, Aaron, I think you're great, but I think it's just been. I want Squadron Supreme of America, and everything else to me is just superfluous till I get it. And then, of course, Peter Porker. I had to grab that myself. But I think I showed you guys. I had a lucky day in the dollar bins recently.
Woo!
And these were all $1. I don't think I showed these last show. I think this is new.
Oh yeah, I remember you showing them, but still worth it.
Oh yeah,
my God.
So like I said, dollar bin. I went to an antiques co-op. You know what those are normally like. Dollar bins are usually a lot of Valiant and Image of the '90s. But I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's take a look. I could tell from the DC in the corner that there was some vintage in there. Pulled out X Factor #6, First Apocalypse, first full. And then I pulled out another one right behind it. Right out of that dollar bin. So a good haul. Now I thought to myself, well, surely these are the finest books I'm going to find in here. And while they may physically be in the absolute best condition,
Baby.
Uncanny 266, first Gambit, first printing.
Oh, yes.
Now, when I pulled it, it was folded over here, but there's no color break, so it should be able to press out, I think. Definitely gonna work on that one.
And how much did you pay for that again? Remind us.
$1 thin American dollar.
Oh,
actually, that's a lie. I had a 5% off coupon, so it was 95 cents.
Oh my God! Breaking the bank.
So
breaking news.
And it's lucky because I've been collecting Uncanny, but I would be utterly unwilling to pay the going rate on the first Gambit. Just wouldn't do it. So those there are probably my best grabs, but I also picked up
Final issue.
Final issue. Yeah. Original Ghost Rider. Real low print run for a Marvel book. So that was $1.
Jerk.
Green Lantern 185. John Stewart origin story. You know, I forgot that Dave Gibbons did a pretty extensive run of art on Green Lantern. And I've been picking them up lately. This was the only hole I had from like 160 to the end. So I was happy to find it. And then I got, to go along with Lady Fantastic there, What If number 100.
Oh!
Now, clearly not the vintage books, but, you know, very cool. I'm also personally a fan of anything that's a Land of Oz derived story. They got a backup in there for Fantastic Four in the Land of Oz.
Nice.
And then a couple of quick, I got the last 4 issues of Ravage 2099. Just horrible. But
oh yeah,
these last few issues are tough. They're really low print runs.
It'd be hard to get them for under $20.
Right. $1 a piece, all of them.
It seems like the worse they are in content, the more you like them.
Yes, that is very true. A couple early Thunderbolts books, number 7 and 8 there. They're 97 annual. And then here's the books that I was super happy to come by before I found that dollar bin. Marvel Team Up 65. First Captain Britain.
That a couple weeks ago.
Beautiful book.
Yeah.
And 66 First Arcade.
Oh yes.
Nice.
$10 for the pair.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I think I paid a lot more than that for the pair.
Yeah. Good. I got a good deal. And believe there was 20. I got 4 books for 20, which is why I say $10 for the pair.
Yeah.
Because the other 2 that came with it. So a couple other team ups right in line. Nothing really big about those.
Daughters of the Dragon. That's cool, man.
Oh yeah.
It is cool. Yeah, I actually had this one already because I was a big Iron Fist guy in the 80s. And I pulled this out of a
Did Claremont write that? Who wrote that one?
Claremont. Yep.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he was a Daughters of the Dragon writer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, I did find one disappointing thing in those dollar bin pulls. And not all of them, because some of them came from a different place. But the ones from the antiques, I was disappointed because some filthy savage, likely the person whose bin it was, wrote the price and the booth number. Do you see this?
Oh, damn it.
Right there. It's only in pencil. I think I can get it. But he did it on the interior of the first page of every book.
Why would they do that?
He's a damn fool.
Animal savages.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, people used to stick actual labels of like $1 on the book themselves, and they did that for years and years and years throughout the 80s, 70s, 60s. And after around the 90s, they kind of laid off of that. But you'll still see books from like 2000 with $1 sticker on it.
I still love the Christmas man thing.
It's still technically the holidays.
My holiday man thing.
So, do you have any other books, Miracleman?
I think that was it for what I got this week. How about you, Rob? What'd you get?
Show us.
So, I didn't show a lot of the books that I wound up getting last week, so I have a table full of books. So, do you want to see them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then in that case, let's blow up my screen and change the camera angle to what I have on my desktop. So I have them all laid out because to pull out the suitcase or the briefcase or whatever it might be, just not big enough. So I went to BTL Collectibles just the other week. That was the show that they have at the Miccosukee. But first, let's go with the books that came out this week, along with what I picked up at Frank's Comics. The address and phone number you can see right here. So people that are replay viewers, just go to minute 20, and you'll be able to see where I go to pick up my books. Meanwhile, these are the books that came out this week. Now, granted, I missed Daredevil that just came out, so I really want to know what's happening with Wilson Fisk after he got his ass beat and thrown out of a window. So, Batman Beyond number 39. In this issue, we still do not know who Batwoman is yet. Some people are speculating that it's the sister of Terry, but some people are also speculating it could be Melanie 10 from the Joker gang. This was the origin of the Red Mist, but it's a little bit difficult to be reading action comics these days. Superman, though, is the book to be reading since he's doing an identity reveal for the second time in 5 years. Batgirl 42, and I'll have to be honest, I haven't read the last 5 or 6 issues, but it was a pretty cover, so I have every issue from 1. Kind of like Detective Comics from the 80s and 70s. I have almost all of them. Haven't read this one yet, and I have to read from issue 1006 on up.
Oh my God, that's where I'm at. I stopped at 10:05.
There's just too much. Speaking of too much, I was hoping a goddamn holiday period. And again, I apologize for the language. That's why we do have this banner going on beneath us, reminding people this show is for 18 and over viewers. So, The Flash number 85, I have not read 85 issues, minus 2 of them, which were the button issues. Marauders number 5. I just read this before going on air, and this book was actually pretty good. But if you read X-Men number 4, this reads like a piece of crap, which is unfortunate because it was a pretty decent book. They're advancing the storyline. We now have Christian Frost, who I, honest to God, cannot tell you where I've seen him before, where I've heard him before. He just shows up, and we just are expected to know who they are. Punisher Soviet 3, I'm just waiting until this series finishes before I get on reading it because I love Garth Ennis, but he's really good to read all in one sitting. Here's another one where I'm probably only going to pick up the first issue. It is Star Wars number 1. They printed 1 million of these bastards and probably also printed at least 1 million of their variant covers. Yeah, that kind of happens. So I know this picks up right after Empire Strikes Back, but we'll see about reading it. Speaking of books that will probably be seeing Lady Fantastic picking up in a dollar bin by next month, because we just know she will be getting those books. Yeah, I paid $4.99 for this variant book. She'll be getting it for $1 next month. This will not be going for $1 next month unless someone trashes the book, because this is the best book so far of 2020. I kid you not. I don't know if anybody is a big fan of Gundam. I was talking to Lady Fantastic before the show. If you watch Gundam, they are always threatening to drop a space colony on Earth. Well, in this issue, something very similar to that happens, and it precipitates the whole rest of the storyline going forward. And it involves Galactus.
Hey, Rob, can I show him the centerfold?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, that's a. Hey, you should warn. Too late.
It's money for a watch.
So they drop Galactus on Asgard, and
Asgard. All right.
Thor rushes to go kick his ass, but there's a whole story on why Galactus dropped onto Asgard, and when you get to the last page, it really does remind you of Thanos issue number 13. When this book first dropped from Marvel a couple years back, this issue gave me the same feeling, Thor number 1, as Thanos 13 did.
Oh, yeah.
Do not expect that Thor number 1 will be a book that Lady Fantastic will be picking up for $1. But it would not shock me. So do pick up Thor number 1. This is the regular cover. This is the Art Adams variant that I pick up. I normally don't pick up 2 books of the same issue, because I am a collector, but I'm not one of those people that just has to have issues to have them, because I just have way too many books in here.
Right.
But I did wind up picking up the variant of Venom 21 from last week, because this was in such nice condition, and he still had one on the shelf. And here is the issue. This was one of my favorites of the week. The only thing that beat it was Thor 1. In this issue, we have Charles Xavier as well as Eric Lenscher going to Davos to speak to the world leaders, and he puts them in their place. There's action going on above them and below them, and I'll only say that, but do read this issue. It has a dinner scene that would put Hannibal Lecter to shame.
Great issue, man. Killer story.
Oh, yeah. Now this I wound up picking up in from Frank's Comics, and this I paid a few extra bucks for, but this is the second full appearance of Taskmaster, and it's a pretty cool little story because it shows him fighting Spider-Man. Would really like to see the issue where he fights Moon Knight, because we know that Taskmaster hates fighting Moon Knight because Moon Knight is willing to take a punch. Now, this book was a top 10 book a few weeks ago because, as it turned out, the identity of Leviathan was this character. I picked it up for about $5, and it's probably worth that all over again, but I just wanted to have it, so now I have it. Speaking of things I wanted to have, I picked up this a few weeks ago. This was the first appearance of Rhodey, Jim Rhodes, a war machine. But it's not his first cover appearance. His first cover appearance, that's this. Rhodey in the back. You never would have known that years later that James Rhodes would be such a popular character. And the person that doesn't wear an outfit in day one, 10, 20, 30 years later, could eventually wind up showing up with, a costume. Right off the bat, I could think of one person. Captain Marvel, she, in her first appearance, was not wearing a uniform, didn't have powers, and it took 10 years to get to this point, much like James Rhodes. So moving on from there.
Great grabs, man. Those are nice.
Thank you. I picked up Thunderbolts #1. This is the prelude, which is really just a reprint of Incredible Hulk issue number 449, the first appearance of the Thunderbolts. So I'm looking for a Thunderbolts 1 because I have issues 110 all the way to the end when it jumps over to Dark Avengers.
Right.
And this one I picked up for about $10 or so. This is Deadpool Little Wade. That's from 1998 when the print runs of these things were just ghastly low.
Yeah.
And my favorite of the Joker Harleen oversized sort of books. I did not get the Joker Smile. I did not really like the first issue of that, so I skipped over all of them. I'm just sticking with Harleen, and we're at book 3. This is the variant edition, and I'm very happy with it. Also, I need to modify previews, so previews did drop this week, so do make sure that you go through your previews catalog, submit to your comic book dealers, your LCS, whoever you're buying your books from, and let them know what you plan on picking up. So real quick, I'll just go through, and I'm not going to tell you what each and every one of these are, but I'll show you these stacks. So let's get these out of the way so I can move it in, and then we'll get to discussion. So first stack, move this out of the way.
First giant stack of comics.
First giant stack of comics. I'll move this out of the way so it's not constantly zooming in and out here. So I wound up picking up the first appearance of Streaky the Cat.
That's awesome.
This is, it has a cover, but the cover is detached. Lady Mechanica #0. This is the reprint from a few years later. This was top 10 book. Apparently they're making it for Netflix.
Oh, wow.
There's another one in here somewhere. There it is. This is the 0 and 1. Looking forward to reading this hopefully during the break at some point. Moon Knight #1. I think I talked about that last week or on somebody's show. I picked this up. It was maybe a couple dollars from Orlando's bin over at the Miccosukee Indian and Gaming Resort convention that they hold at the end of every Saturday, end of the month at the casino. So the problem with this is right back here at the back cover. There's a nice chunk ripped out of the book, but I'll pick up another one in better condition later on. Got a blade 1, got a blade half. Took it out of the wizard bag because those things turn yellow and they will hurt your books. Because Lady Fantastic sold me a sensational She-Hulk 1, now I'm starting to pick up all those extra issues. So wound up picking a 50. It was $1. Also $1, Legends 1, first Amanda Waller, second Amanda Waller, third Amanda Waller, and the first appearance of the Suicide Squad, the modern version, a Firestorm 1.
Nice.
A first Killer Frost.
Nice.
First Blue Devil. And a bunch of Amazing Spider-Man. For $1 or $2 in the show, yeah, I'll pay it. That's not a problem. A little bit more Spider-Man, some more Spider-Man. Oh, hey, first it's Cassidy. It's $1.
What?
Yeah, I guess I should probably zoom in a little bit more. Move that back down. Let's see. There we go. So first Gwenom. And he had a stack of these things there. So anybody planning on going to the Miccosukee, he has about 20 or 30 of these. So if you want to pick one up, it's be $1 or $2.
Wow.
Vision Scarlet Witch. Looking forward to WandaVision. The trailer just dropped today, showing a quick little scene from that trailer. And I have the entire hardcover, so I picked up the first and second issue. And now I just have to get 3 through 12.
Nice.
Captain Atom 1. Lazarus 1, an Elektra Assassin 1, which I already have the whole series, but I keep thinking I'm missing an Elektra, and I can't remember which the series is from Sinkovich. So I have 2. Oh well, it happens. And lastly, Ronin.
Nice.
And there was that wizard bag. And here's the second stack, and we'll go into the conversation. I don't want people to go, well, he's just showing a bunch of books and they're never going to get to the discussion. So here's that next stack. We'll move this up here and move the camera back. All right.
That's a great cover.
So we have... I love this cover, and I've been seeing this more and more. I wasn't able to find this for the longest period of time.
That's
and now I'm seeing multiple copies everywhere. So I got that. Gargoyles 1. Now I just need to find the whole rest of the series because I was always a big fan of Gargoyles, the TV series. First Speedball. First version of Valkyrie that was used from the movies. This is the first appearance of She. It is also signed by creator Everett Hartsoe of Razor. This was a forgotten title that back in the day, this was $50 back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I bought it $1, even signed.
Wow.
Need to get issues 2 and 3, but this is the Alien Alliance from Todd McFarlane.
That Invasion series, man, was fantastic.
I'm glad to hear it because I know that they tried adapting it with Supergirl.
Yeah.
And it was something.
Right. No, that mini was fantastic, and the Inferior 5 right now from Giffen is actually a direct sequel.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been hearing good things about it. I have the first issue, and I just didn't pick it up after that.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Ash, some Army of Darkness with Bruce Campbell there. When I'm seeing some of these old horror titles, yeah, I'll pick them up for $1 or $2.
Nice.
I mean, I grew up with Freddy Krueger and Leatherface and Dark Tower and all this stuff. Black Adam 1.
Great. Great cover.
Thor cover from the movie. From Hell reprint. I have the entire book series from this, but I don't have that one. The first blue Superman, Electric Superman. This a little bit closer here. We got some Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 1. Never would have thought that these would have been collectible, but apparently people are really picking up these Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I was never into it. That was after my time as a child. This is the first Nightwing in his newer updated suit. It's issue 2, not 1 of Nightwing. I have way too much Nightwing. Here we have Nightwing doing his split because it's the only way Dick can show Dick.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Let's throw that back up there just in case again. Beware, this show is for those over the age of 18. Although we're probably, if we're being honest with ourselves, know that just about anybody that actually picks up a comic book are the type of people to watch this show. Tune in every Wednesday. I also picked up this. This one was in kind of rough shape, but I could probably throw it in the press and fix it up a little bit. But it was newsstand, so I'll pick it up. And then I got some Adam Hughes covers. Well, this one isn't Hughes, but the ones after it are.
Diodato.
Oh, yeah. So here's some Hughes.
Nice.
Wonder Woman 171 and 172.
Dude, you didn't get...
No.
No, okay.
What happened?
The what is that? Adam Hughes, what is it? 183, 187?
Yeah, the old version and the new version. I had it and I sold an entire run for so cheap before it blew up.
It's insane. I've been trying to put that run together, but I just will not pay that price for that book.
Yeah, no, it was $5 for the longest time.
Right. I've seen it going recently for like $110, man.
Oh my God! It's like that the Catwoman 51 where she does the mug shot.
Yep. Doesn't even make sense to me, man. There's other Adam Hughes covers that are fantastic for Wonder Woman, but people are just it's got to be the cover, right? They just love it.
I think so. Because sometimes, just look at that copy of. Oh, hold on a second. Just dropped something. It's kind of like this copy. This is one of those books that I picked up day one when it came out, and all of a sudden it blows up to about $300, and you can't find it really for under that.
Right.
There was a short period of time you might have found this for about $3, but not anymore.
No. Dude, I remember when you could get New Teen Titans number 2, New Teen Titans number 2 for, sub $20 price. Now if you can touch that thing for under $90, you're killing it.
Oh, good luck with it, really. I mean, these here, I would not have picked up Tomb Raider. I do not read Tomb Raider. I'm not a fan of Tomb Raider, but I'm a fan of Adam Hughes.
Oh yeah.
So I got 42 and 44. And lastly, because I had it and sold it long ago, Dorkhawk number 1 newsstand. And those are all the books I wound up picking up over the course of the new year. Looking forward to 2020.
And he's gone.
All right, now we've got the show to ourselves.
It's the lady and the man. So what do you want to do, lady?
Let's do some Jello shots.
All right. Daddy.
Damn nice. So those are all the books for today.
Very nice, Rob. Very nice grabs.
Dude, we talked mad shit about you while you were off.
Go on. And thank you, Tacoma. Thank you, Slim. So, the next big subject of the show that we're going to be talking about. So, let's see here. After the comic books that you picked up last year, you might have modified where you've been going with your collection. So going into 2020, are there some books that you're looking forward to? Are there, well, more than anything, what are some back issues that you're really digging that you want to pick up?
I'm right now, the only thing that I have that's big on my, I have 2 books on my list that are kind of big that I want to grab. I believe it's Wonder Woman 184 of the original run with a cover appearance by Nubia. which I believe was the first black Amazon. I think she's actually from a separate tribe of Amazons. And the other one is Doom Patrol 99, because it's the last one I need. Last one I need out of the keys for the original Doom Patrol run, and everything else is easy. First Beast Boy. Yeah, first Beast Boy in that one. How about you, lady? What are you looking for?
So the ones that I need to fill in, I'm specifically focusing on my Uncanny X-Men and Avengers, but specifically Avengers from 142 or 143. I have 144, but 142 or 143 through 200, because I have some of those, but it's gappy, and I want to get those filled all the way in, because I don't know, I like taking certain subsections and just focusing on them.
Yep.
Any big books, the one big book that I really have in mind is the 101 Uncanny X-Men. If I get that, then I'm going to focus on 129 and 130. So first Kitty Pryde and first Dazzler.
Nice.
Yeah, just pricier.
Right. I lucked out a couple years back. My LCS got in a beautiful run of Uncanny. From one, I think it started at 132.
Yeah.
And went to, just went on. And there were 2 issues of every single book.
Damn.
It was one of those people that always bought 2 copies of every book.
Yeah.
And even the reader copy was probably 7. Yeah, they were real high grade. And the 140, 141, and 142, he sold me for $40 for the 3 of them, and they're at least 8.5s.
Wow, that's really nice.
And then great deal. And then everything else, all the way up until I want to say 215, he sold me $3 a piece. They broke down to.
No way.
Yeah, I didn't need 200 or 175, but everything else I got from them, and they were they're off the rack.
164.
Yep.
Dude, yep. I have my 164 is a Mark Jewelers.
Oh, nice.
I know.
That's not, those aren't common. They're kind of tough.
I know. I was pretty, but I was going through all my stuff, but I was like, what the fuck?
I think out of my entire collection, I have maybe 2 Mark Jeweler books.
I think I have like 3. I have one is the Defenders 130. One is the what I just told you about, the 164 Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah.
One is a Khazar 12, and then I would have to think more. I can't remember. That's all.
There is a flea market nearby that it seems to close down crazy early Sunday mornings. Like, it's an hour drive, and I think if I'm not there by 10 o'clock, just forget even going. But I've been there one time, and where the whole place was open up, and all the way in the back there's a guy. I don't know where it had to have been a storage auction buy or something like that. But he has Bronze Age Marvel stuff, just probably 15 long boxes of it, and it's 8 or 10 copies of every issue of like Team Up and 2-in-1 and Doc Savage and Battlestar. Not the big, the most collectible titles of Marvel in the Bronze Age. But he's got so many copies of them that they had to have come from one place. And this was before, it's just 6-7 years ago, I think, that I actually got in there. So it was before I knew about the Mark Jewelers variants. But I remember going back when I was there, I remember looking, and you could just see along the top. And I remember seeing that cardboard insert top sticking out. Not sticking out, but you can kind of see it because it makes them thicker.
It's a paper. Yeah, it's a different type of paper.
It's like a card. I don't know if it's a card stock in some, and it's a gloss in others.
It's gloss in mine. All the ones that I have are gloss.
I think mine are card stock. But I remember seeing them, and man, the dude was selling them $1 a piece. I mean, Bronze Age marble for $1 a piece. That's, I'll take that all day. But the guy's never been open since I've gone back there. I've gone back like 5 or 6 times. I think every year I go, there's less and less vendors open. So I'm hoping I hit it and get back in there, because if that's a whole bunch of Mark Jewelers, I'll be coming home with somebody's collection.
I'd like to have more.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one Mark Jewelers that I know that I bought earlier this year. This is that Thor issue number 390. This is the one that is the classic scene from the Avengers movie when Captain America lifts Mjolnir and strikes down his opponents. Unfortunately, he doesn't do it in his own outfit because he's wearing this dinky little thing. But it is Captain America wielding the hammer. I had Brian from Take the Time Collectibles tell me about it, and I made a short little video, filmed that on Instagram. But what this really does help with, if you're going to look for back issues, just look for the little line. I don't know if you can see it very well, but if you're looking at the tops of these books, starting from the spine right about up here, if you wind up seeing a little bit of a color difference, you are able to tell and spot Mark Jewelers just by looking at the tops of books.
This is going to sound gross and possibly elitist, so I'm going to say I don't eat shellfish. However, if you are the type of person who eats shrimp and are familiar with the poop line on the top of the shrimp, that's essentially what this looks like, except not. Yeah. But that's pretty accurate. I mean, it's just a black line going right through the middle of the book.
It's the most fine poop line.
A most fine poop line.
It's a money line.
A money. But yes, that's how you find them. If you got a box of when do those start? 67 or 8?
70, I thought 70 something.
Was it 70? I thought they got into the 60s.
And do you remember when they end? Goat 99's asking.
Like 86 or 87. They go to up.
Yes.
Mark. I'm asking the Google machine.
Yeah, as we're checking out the Google machine, this is one of those things where if you know about the keys from Key Collector app, or if you're able to just remember these things, yeah, look for that black line, just as Comic Crazy tells you about, and it'll be those particular ones that'll be worth more money. Just because it has a Mark Jewelers, it might make it worth $1 more if it's just a common regular issue of the next one of a book. But overall, you're going to be looking for those keys with those Mark Jewelers. And it's few and far between when you can actually find them. But when you find them on things like Tomb of Dracula 10 or even Werewolf by Night 32, and it makes a book that's about $1.2 thousand worth, double that. So it's helpful to know about those things. And I can guarantee you a lot of dealers do not take a look on the inside of their own books.
Oh, no.
That's why I wind up getting a Thor issue 229 with the Marvel Values stamp ripped out. Not meticulously cut out with an X-Acto, ripped out with their meaty hooks.
That's depressing right there. That's depressing. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's like a double cover, right? Most books, it's really not going to change the value of the book very much if it's a Mark Jeweler.
It'll bump it up a little bit, but not
just like most books with a double cover. Might bump it up a couple of bucks.
It's a novelty.
It's exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's not for most books. It's not going to make or break the bank, and they're just kind of cool to find. But again, you're gonna run into some of those real rare books, some of those real collectible books, and a Mark Jewelers insert's going to make a dramatic difference in value.
Yes, when it's the rare ones, it's
right.
Crazy.
And the places that people are most likely to be finding those Mark Jewelers, and there's people are right inside the chat room. There are other inserts as well.
Oh, yeah.
Barbarian Kung Fu mentioned that there's the Diamond Exchange, but most of these books, if you were trying to look for these, you'll find them in the Midwest, or especially around military bases. Military bases were primarily why Mark Jeweler was trying to sell these rings and jewelry so that people would wind up going, hey, I need to buy this for my honey back home. So that's where you're likely to find that most. But also, I'm seeing this here about Dazzler 1. For those that are not familiar with Dazzler 1, when you open up that book, check for the advertisement at the very back of the book. If it's a giant advertisement for Dazzler and I guess the other Marvel titles, and it's all in black and white, you found yourself the error. Unfortunately, it's not like it's worth that much more than a regular common issue of Dazzler. It's just a 1 in 10, and it's really how hot is the book. Dazzler is not going to be one of those books that people are likely going to be paying $100 for quite some time.
I think Dazzler in particular actually had an exceptionally high print run, didn't it? That first issue. I mean, I picked up a really high grade one a few years ago. I think for like $4, and I swear it's probably eight and a half. I mean, it's a really glossy cover on it, really nice looking copy, but just cost me nothing to buy. Same thing with my first Spider-Woman, my first issue Spider-Woman. Bought a few years ago, I think for $4, high grade copy. Nobody really cares. You know, I think it's because there were a lot of those, so it's not that difficult to come across them.
And Goat 99, to be specific, because when it comes to comics, we're like lawyers almost. It's about specificity. So specifically, you're looking for pages 24 and 25. That is the black and white error on Dazzler. But just as Barbarian Kung Fu mentions here, Dazzler 1 was Marvel's first direct market-only book.
Yep.
Also, very much like, if you remember last year when Invisible Woman came out with issue number 1, the stores would order that book, and then Marvel sent out 3 times the amount of the books that was ordered. So there is more of that out there than tissue paper that was printed by all the tissue paper companies combined. I might be hyperbolizing, but I'm not off the mark either.
There's a bunch of them. Yeah. For them, it makes more sense to put product out there and just have people see that it's there. You know, if they pick up one extra issue, I mean, from a printer standpoint, it literally costs Marvel next to nothing to run an additional. I mean, if they doubled their order, it's not like they're doubling the cost at the printer. As you print more, the cost per unit drops dramatically. You know, when you're talking about 10,000, you know, going from 10,000 to 20,000, all right, we didn't get a lot of orders out here. Let's double what everybody ordered just to see if it sells for them. It's really not that much more money.
Yeah, and going into 2020, it's going to be, from what I've been hearing from insiders, if you want to be buying books that are going to be the hot things 5 or 10 years from now, if you know that it has a print run of 50,000 and over that, chances are that's not going to be anything more than about $20 after about a year or so, because it's way overprinted. I mean, here's a good example of one of those things. There were at least 50,000 of these particular books that were printed. This is Inhumans number 5. This is the first Yelena Belova. Right about now, they're going for about between $30, $50 or so. Give it about 3 months after the movie drops, and I can guarantee you will probably be paying under $10 again for it.
There's got to be warehouses with boxes of that sitting somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just not worth. I mean, yeah.
First issue of East of West came out from Image, which, you know, just ended last week. I loved East of West. I'm so glad it ended. It needed to end. It's been going on for just far too long. But it was a fantastic story, really good book. But that first issue, when I grabbed that first issue and read it, I was like, this book's going to pop. This is going to be huge. And then I found out that it had something like 58,000 on that first issue print run. You know, that's going to be around forever. Nobody's going to have a hard time finding that book. You know, it's not like Manhattan Projects. You know, I grabbed Manhattan Projects the first time that first issue, right when it came out, knew it was going to be big and put it on the pull. And then, you know, you still can't find the first 5 to 10 issues of Manhattan Projects. And that book hasn't been hot for 5 years, 4 years.
Well, if you're looking for Manhattan's Projects, I'm pretty sure that I have that in one of the boxes I have over here I'm trying to get rid of.
If anybody wants to get that book, then hit up Rob here, because I got my run. But that's a really good story. I mean, that was probably one of my favorite series that came out of Image from that entire era. and they had some great stuff. Oh yeah, those Sinkovich covers on there were really, really good on the Dazzler series.
As it progressed, the covers just kept getting better and better. Unfortunately, the sales kept getting worse and worse.
Dazzler and I used to find Moon Knight books as easily as I find Dazzler and Spider-Woman books now. And now all of a sudden that Moon Knight's heating up, I don't see the Moon Knight books anymore. They just disappeared, man. They went up in smoke. But I'm still finding those Spider-Woman and Dazzler books all over the place. Probably because the story was nowhere near as good.
Kitty.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. But yeah, here's two examples of ones that just started spiking lately. So here is Elsa Bloodstone's first appearance. This was very, very low. And
I got that one.
And it's Dan Abnett. This is the guy that pretty much made Guardians of the Galaxy what it is known for today.
Right.
Also, and I know Lady Fantastic just picked this up recently, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah.
This is a very under-ordered, and a lot of people really dig it. I know it's kind of like Squirrel Girl. It's not for everybody, but if it is something that might become something one day and you're looking to flip, because more often than not, most people that pick up comics these days, they're not reading them. They jump right onto eBay after they acquire them, or they send it in right after pressing it to get it graded and flip it. I'm just getting it because I like the books. Eventually, I can read them when I finally have the time. But we also have somebody backstage right now that's joining us for this episode. I was on his live chat last night for New Year's Eve. We rang in the new year in the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, and I think even Hawaii. Say hello to Dylan's Comic Book Rants.
Yo, what's up, my guys?
What's up, Dylan? How you doing?
What's up,
I'm
man?
good, man. Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year.
Fantastic.
New Year.
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Miracleman. Hope all is well.
Doing good. Except for my cat trying to murder me. Sorry about that. Hey,
asshole ninja, clumsy. They're clumsy asshole ninjas. That's what all cats are.
That's mine for sure. I wanted to make one quick comment though on the books you had just mentioned, Moon Girl and Squirrel Girl. Books that they're definitely not for me. They're not the books that I love. But I'll tell you right now, you want to talk about books that are 10 to 15 year big investment. Any of those early appearances, first appearances, Moon Girl and Squirrel Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Those books, the only reason they're still printing those books is because they sell like crazy through Scholastic. They're some of their top sellers in Scholastic books is the Moon Girl and Squirrel Girl books. They don't sell a lot in single issues. But what's going to happen is those kids who are buying those books right now in Scholastic 10, 15 years from now are going to be adults with a disposable income and a sense of nostalgia. And that's when every one of those books are going to be money books.
That is a great point.
Big money books. I mean, we're some of those have such low print runs. Every one of Moon Girl and Squirrel Girl books have really low print runs. If you can put together a full run of those books, I'm telling you, those books are going to be, people are going to be paying big bucks for those in 10 to 15 years. And yes, that's true. Sorry.
So, hey, Dylan, do you have any books that you're looking forward to acquiring, or books that you're looking forward from the big two or some independent companies? What are you looking for in 2020, Dylan?
Probably looking forward to more of that Thor. I heard there was a Hickman's doing an Image title called Decorum. I look forward to that. Anything like, I think Stegman's got some independent stuff coming. I want to check that out. Honestly, I want to get into more independent stuff, no doubt.
Anything specific?
Kanto Series 2. I'm waiting for that. The Venom 22 next week. And so, I mean, just all that period. But I think what else? Excited for some Star Wars stuff. It looks like they're gonna have some cool Star Wars comics coming. They got that Darth Vader run coming in February, and even like a bounty hunter. I hope, man, they do that bounty hunter run, and they're like Boba Fett's kind of like a background character, him and Bosk. I'm like, him with Mandalorian, y'all should have a straight up Boba Fett story coming. So I don't really know much about that cybernetic bounty hunter that it's gonna be about. But yeah, man, anything Donnie Cates is writing, I'm looking forward to. I'm not really like acquiring no grails throughout the year. I mean, I wish I could, but I'm more just going to be getting the weekly books, you know. But yeah, that's right. I mean, anything, I'm trying to get into some more of the independents for sure. But it's I got to check the previews also to see what they got coming, you know.
Yeah, if you haven't read Baby Teeth, Perry from Perry Comics, you know who he is.
Oh yeah,
He's telling you Baby Teeth. Baby Teeth is fantastic. I know it's either coming to an end if it hasn't ended already, but if you're also into Donny Cates, Redneck, it's like True Blood but hardcore.
I want to get in on that.
Dark Ark. Dark Ark is, I think, in its second series right now, so it might be right in the middle of it. But if you can pick up Dark Ark, either the first series or the one that's currently going on, highly recommend it. It is. We're all familiar with the tale of Noah and the arks, right?
Yeah.
This is the other ark that contains all the magical creatures saved from the floods. And just like Noah's Ark, they bring them on, 2 by 2, and you've got unicorns and Pegasus and griffins, and I mean, it's just it's a really great story. I think it was I forget who the publisher was on it, but it's that was I think that was Cates as well. I think that was his one of his books. Now I'm trying to find it.
All right, so moving on from there. From let's see here, comic titles. So there's a bunch of new books that are going to be coming out from 2020. We've been seeing advertisements for them. One of them is this Chip Zdarsky X4. So I guess it's going to be X-Men and Fantastic Four again. Anybody picking that up?
Yeah, I probably will. So I've been loving this X-Men stuff. That and the Hickman, Jean Grey, and Emma Frost
that looks great.
Mashup. That's gonna get hectic, I'm sure. Especially after that issue 4 of X-Men, dude. I'm like so down for Hickman right now. Wow, what a great issue.
Oh, Lady Fantastic, you got something?
So I honestly, I haven't heard of a lot of things. I haven't read many previews. I don't know about this Iron Man 2020. I don't know if they're going to be doing like more 2020 series. But yeah, I I usually just watch you guys to see what you have to say in terms about what's coming out soon. Honestly, haven't grabbed a previews book in a hot minute. So yeah, I'm just my strategy is almost the inverse of Dylan's, where he follows weekly and doesn't really get many keys. I try to focus on more of like my collection and keys that I'm familiar with than necessarily all the new stuff that comes out. I maybe follow like 2 titles or 3 titles loyally, and even then I can get a little non-committal. So
yeah, I hear that.
Am I the only one?
No, it does look like we just lost Miracleman. Hopefully he'll be able to jump back into the chat here.
I sent Perry the link. I didn't know if you see it in the private. He might make it. We'll see. I don't know
if it's not in private. Go ahead and send Perry a link over on Instagram, and he should get it.
Oh, I sent it to his email, but yeah, I figured you probably hit him with it already.
No, it was just you guys that I wound up sending it to, and I kept hearing about, this guy. So Chip Zdarsky. Oh, here he is. Miracleman. Sorry about that, bud.
Sorry about that, guys.
And the same thing's been happening to me yesterday and today.
Dude.
Yeah. Chip Zdarsky, the reason why he was banned yesterday is because he was showing his bare ass on Twitter.
Did he make a new account, or is that the old one?
That's the same one.
You got it back.
Other creators raised such a stink about what wound up happening. Yeah, they wound up giving his title back again because he just doesn't have any ass. He's like Captain America.
Right.
America's ass.
That's
me. I have MODOK's ass. If I showed my ass on Twitter, I'm getting banned from Earth.
Oh
If
my
you have
God.
MODOK ass, then I have Mojo ass.
Listen, I saw that picture, and I'm not a male ass connoisseur. I'd say, I dabble, but that was a nice ass, man. I mean, that's it. I'm not saying it belongs in the Louvre, but perhaps at least on the Twitter.
Oh man, that's too funny.
I never would have thought we would be talking about another creator's butt cheeks on the internet.
Yo,
Right.
yo,
But it's 2020.
the stuff we talk about, man.
And it's like, is that good for civilization? Is what we've done good? Or is the slow, inane implosion of failure to better ourselves? Fuck it, I'm out. No, I'm kidding.
if looking at Chip Zdarsky's ass is bad for the world, then the world is wrong. All right, that was a beautiful ass. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Somebody's in love.
Chip, call me.
Ass in comics. That's what we're here for.
If it's a good ass, and that was a good ass, that was objectively a good ass.
What's the rubric?
Huh?
I didn't even see it
Who
too.
you
I
doing?
just seen all the hype going on with all the creators, and I was like, I thought they banned him for like nothing because I was seeing all they're like he banned him for like nothing. So I literally thought it was like just over nothing, and then I was like, oh, he showed his ass. I was like, okay, now, but even that like that's kind of
You can show baby ass all the time.
Yeah.
You can show baby
All
ass.
dude, there's like women like literally going, they have their like little I can't even think what it's called, those like the websites though, where it's basically like just women like literally full-fledged like hit this link, you can see me naked, but literally all their pictures are them half naked already. So it's like, I don't know, I guess male ass is like past what whatever the fucking description says of what you can't show on Twitter.
That's taboo. You can have your vajay covered by a postage stamp, but as long as it's covered, that's gooch. But no male butt. That's out of line.
That makes me feel weird on the inside.
No.
It makes me feel feelings in my tummy that I didn't know I could feel.
Don't want to wrestle with those ideas. All right, dudes.
Equal
I gotta go
rights
to bed
for
tomorrow.
races. But moving on from that,
I gotta work.
Another good question.
I think Lady's bouncing out.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say
Yeah,
work tomorrow.
I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Oh, ouch!
And it's 10, and I'm a grandma, so I need my beauty sleep. But I've had fun, and everybody have a good night, and be safe. Read comics.
Well, one last thing. Promote yourself. Do you have a auction coming up this Friday or anything that you're going to be doing over the next few days?
Shorty and I are contemplating maybe doing something Friday or Saturday, and we'll make an announcement soon enough. But yeah, maybe not. I don't know. It's always just kind of, it's like buying comics. I'm very non-committal.
All right, well, it's great to have you on the show as always. Looking forward to you coming back next week, and I guess I'll be speaking to you again over the next few days. So Hope you have a good day at work tomorrow. I don't know if I'm working tomorrow, but I know that my ass is definitely working Friday when I have to go to Key West again. So it's for 1:30, so I will be finally getting to meet Bake the Snake, Tommy Baker. So I'm looking forward to that this Friday. So maybe we'll go live on his channel or we'll do something. We'll think of something. But
Yes.
Lady Fantastic, thank you so much, as always, for joining tonight. And we'll be talking. You have a great afternoon and great evening. And in case I don't see you, have a good morning.
All right. See you guys. Be safe. Bye.
Later,
Good night,
lady.
lady. Peace out. Have a good night.
And we do know that Dylan wound up sending a chat request to Perry. So go ahead, Perry. If you got that request, we are formally inviting you on this show. So moving on from that, we do have a few other things that I wanted to talk about tonight. So do other comic book YouTubers influence your buying habits? Dylan?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, most of the time I got like what I already want, but sometimes if there's something I didn't get, and especially independent titles, because I always seem to be late on all that stuff. But yeah, I definitely, if I watch like Rockin' Robbie Billups's Tuesday night like pickups video, or Professor Bill's video, and they're like, yeah, this is looking like it's gonna be a crazy title, and I didn't have it, I'm quickly messaging my shop like, please make sure you got one put to the side for me, because I know my shop don't get that much too, so I'm like, hell yeah, like I gotta get that, yeah, so it definitely does. It helps a lot, because you can't know everything. Like sometimes you're like, nah, I got no need to get that book, and then you hear it's amazing, and that seems to be what it is always for me. The second I pass on it, I hear the book is so amazing. Lately now though, like few things like that tear it and stuff, I was like, thank God I didn't get that. I knew it. But every once in a while, there's that book like Justice League Dark. I passed on it, heard a lot of hype. The next week or like a couple weeks later, issue 2 comes out. I decided to get issue 2. Thankfully, my shop had one issue left of the first. Snagged that, and I loved it. I love Justice League Dark probably better than the regular Justice League story. Yeah, so it always seems to be like when I do that, when I pass on something and I'm able to finally pick it up, it always seems to be worth picking it up in the end. And yeah, definitely it helps being able to watch some of those videos, because you can't know everything, man. Like
there's too much information, there's too much stuff coming out, and we don't have infinite time.
Yep.
Speaking of infinite time, I need to run to the bathroom, so I'm going to pose that same question to Miracleman. Do YouTubers influence you at all? Do you watch comic book YouTubers? I know that you don't have a channel. That's something that we do get questions about every now and then. Reminder to people out there watching us that, oh, no, that's not it. That Miracleman is not on Instagram. He is not on YouTube. He is on Twitter. And that's a story that did happen this week. Not only did Chip Zdarsky get banned from Twitter, we have somebody that's on the show right now that was not banned, but he was in a tete-a-tete between you and somebody that we did a show on earlier this year or last year.
Yeah. I got in a bit of a row with a professional, formerly professional comic artist, I should say. But let me talk about the fun thing first, and then before I get into that, if you want, I'll talk about it. So for my influences, I find myself actually being more influenced by my interaction at my LCS than I do from most media sources, and that's probably because I definitely talk comics a lot more in the shop than I do on YouTube. Don't have my own show. I don't watch a lot of YouTube shows in general, so it doesn't typically influence me. However, I will say, The only reason I got that John Carter 18 recently, or I should say that stack of John Carter 18s, was because of this show from one of the episodes the first episodes I was on. I didn't even realize that was Frank Miller's first work, and I found a giant stack of them in warehouse condition for $3 a pop. So I brought all those home with me.
I think I remember hearing about that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no worries. I got a nice big pile of them. But I wouldn't have even known about it if it wasn't for Rom. I'm somebody who typically in my collecting, what I look for is things that I find to be historical to comics in one way or another. And that's kind of always been my collecting habit. When it comes to back issue buying. So a lot of times when a book starts to heat up for obscure reference X, I might have already, I quite often already hunted it down because I wanted it for obscure reference X to begin with. For example, I'm drawing a total blank right now, but I don't find myself chasing them that much because if it was something I would have been interested in, I was probably already interested in it already.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Every time I try to think, I draw a blank, and I'm like, "Fuck, hell."
Well, I just thought of one. Atlas books. Remember the Atlas books heated up about 6 months ago at this point? The Atlas Seaboard.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Paramount bought them. Oh, there's going to be movies. The books everybody's selling them. I saw some Yabo with Tiger Man #1 for $150. He had it slabbed. Who slabbed a Tiger Man and had it up on eBay the day that movie announcement comes out? Who put in the investment of slabbing Tiger Man before that?
Probably the same person that got the great idea to do the chance copy, the Angry Ex-Girlfriend variant that I talk about every episode of Amazing Spider-Man, the first appearance of Green Goblin.
Right. Hey,
this is a piece of shit book now. It used to be in pretty decent condition, and my girlfriend wrote all over it, F you and screw you on every single page. They sent it in for grading, came back as a 1.1 with minor restoration. Yeah, I mean, so some of those books, that got hot, but I already had, I'd already had interest in that. I had pulled all the books that I had really wanted out of that run previously, like Planet of Vampires and Tiger Man, and there was one other book I really had interest in. The only one I never got was that Devil Slayer, Devil Hunter. I'm still looking for that one, and there's a Frankenstein Jr. or so Dracula Jr. I think is what it is that I'm looking for. But other than that, that's it. So normally, if interest peaks, I would have already been interested in it if that affected me. So yes, I did get into a bit of a row on the Twitters this week. What led up to it, and what is the end result?
Well, what I believe led up to it, and at least from my point of reference, was I have a Twitter mutual who was an ally throughout the Vic Mignogna situation, and I saw that they had engaged with Mr. Van Sciver on Twitter, and he's an individual with a large, very devout following, and I honestly I don't know where it started, but I see it pop up on my timeline, and we've talked about this person before. I don't know him personally. Maybe in the real world, he's actually a really nice guy. But, he typically presents himself as a fairly toxic individual if you're not somebody that's in his camp. So that being said, some stuff came up, and I decided to give a little pushback because I have quite a long history of being involved with Comicsgate and kind of seeing everything unfold over the last couple of years, and kind of took him to task a little bit and said, listen, I'm happy everybody got their books. That's great. If you guys got your books, that's great. But bear in mind, there's people still don't have their books. This is a guy, kind of going off about making $1 million on Indiegogo. And hey, man, sincerely, awesome. I couldn't care less about that personally. But hey, that's great for him. And I mean that sincerely. Some people, that sounds like you're being jealous right now. I'm not even remotely jealous. There's far more complex feelings going on here than jealousy. But I called him out, and he said in a post to me, quote tweeting me, come say this to my face, or you're just a coward.
Come at me, bruh.
Right.
With that, he's an adult. Right.
He's he's a middle-aged man, for the love of God. I mean, come on, dude. Or if he's not middle-aged, he's dang close to it. And I said, what do you want, man? You want me to have me on a YouTube show because we know we can't find you at a con anymore. And I asked him flat out. I told you before, I was a big fan before I found him on social media. I bought his name was literally at the top of my poll list. And I asked him, was it worth it? Was it worth it just to be an a-hole on the internet? Was it worth it?
If you feel better about yourself and you feel validated by putting other people down, then I guess so. But I just think that it doesn't matter in the end, and you're probably just an asshole. And speaking about people who aren't assholes and not boring whatsoever, we have
Are you sure?
us live Perry Comics.
I feel like
Perry.
I'm an asshole. I'm pretty much an asshole. Hey, but I don't hide. I go to cons. Oh man, what are you talking about? Because I was just recording a video, so I missed like the who are we talking about over here?
So as it turns out, Ethan Van Sciver and our boy here, Miracleman.
Oh man,
he's on Twitter. He is pretty well known, and he got into a bit of a altercation with the man.
Ooh.
And he wound up banning him, going, "Come at me, bro, debate me," like a child would. The man, obviously in his later part of his years. And as a snowflake, someone that calls other people snowflakes, he acts like one and banned him.
Comic fight.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
pretty much. He said, "Come say this to my face," and I said, "What do you want me on your YouTube show?" I mean, it's not like you're getting booked at cons anymore, dude. And I think that's the one that got me the block.
A little bit of truth hurts.
Right, exactly. And honestly, I'll tell you right now, if this was 3 years ago, I would be like ranting and raving how much I love this dude.
Wow.
And then 2.5 years ago, I found him on social media and realized he's just incredibly toxic. So, it's not I don't like him or his art. It's just, I was a mega fan. Man, I got 138 books this cat did, which isn't everything he's done, but it's a good chunk of it. So to get blocked, hey, whatever, nothing is lost on my end, and nothing is lost on his, whatever.
And the weird thing, on the DC comic book app, you can look up other creators by name, but the one guy that you can't look up is him, and he worked on a good, healthy amount of Green Lantern titles. So whatever happened there, I got advice years ago: either be a superstar, but if you can't be that, you have to do these other two things. Make sure you hit your deadlines and get along with other people. If you're able to do those two things, it doesn't matter if you're a superstar.
Right.
get along with other people.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta let my dog out really quick, or he's gonna
Oh, I
keep
know.
crying. So give me 1
Who
second.
let the
Go
dogs out?
right ahead. I'm going to jump you out when you're
Dylan,
ready.
let the dogs
And we'll
out.
add you.
Hey, he's a pit. He needs to get to the bathroom. He gonna be barking like hell.
Right.
We know how it is. I have a dog over in the other room, which I'm very surprised that between all the gunshots and fireworks going off last night, which is strange and a little sad how I know the difference between the two.
Right? Isn't it crazy living in Florida? Like, hey, I'm all for guns. I enjoy guns, but that's just reckless, dude. Like, these guys are drunk outside shooting like crazy. I'm like, that's a firework? Those are gunshots. That's a firework? Those are gunshots. That was all night last night.
That's a good time right there.
I mean, so I guess some people might know some of my stories, some of y'all don't. So here's one of those stories that kind of applies to last night. You do realize when you take a gun and you point it in the air and you fire it, that it doesn't go into space, right? We're all on the same page, right?
Yes. What goes
So-
up must come down.
Right after I was divorced in 2009, I move out to Hollywood Boulevard. And I'm not talking about in California. It's in Hollywood, Florida, which is considered like the Bohemian district.
No, thank you.
If South Beach is where all the pretty people with money live, well, the people with no money and live like, back in the 1800s, you live in Hollywood.
No, thank
So-
you. I hate Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood's pretty low. That. So moved out to Hollywood and I went, okay, I was married all these years. I never got to have fun. So I am going to get drunk beforehand, walk on out to Hollywood Boulevard to Whiskey Tango, where I'll do rock star karaoke, bomb on purpose, and stumble home. I did not even make it to the bar. What wound up happening? I worked in fashion at the time, so I had this nice new white Marc Echo shirt. So I'm walking across the street. I'm starting to head towards Whiskey Tango. It's only 3 blocks away. I wanted to be really close to the bars. It's like I knew I was going to become an alcoholic. So walk on out to the bar, and it feels like someone punched me right in the shoulder, right here. I'm looking all around, and I'm just going to blow myself up for a second. I'm looking all around, wondering what just happened. I look down at my shoulder. There's blood kind of squirting out bit by bit. I'm looking all around. There's nobody around except for somebody across the street. And what do? They don't go to take out their phone to make a phone call going, hey, something just happened. They start doing this.
Oh my God.
So I'm pretty sure that the after effect of what just happened either streamed, it was 2010, so I don't think that was happening. So they shot a gun in the air and it came down on me. If it just would have been about a few inches over to the left, well, you might not have been talking to me today.
Wow.
And that was the final time that I was shot accidentally. So that happened.
Jesus, man.
That's horrific. That's a nightmare, dude.
I
sorry.
get taken to the hospital right around the corner at Jackson, and I'm getting interviewed by police. Like, hey, do you have a problem with anybody? Does anybody have a problem with you? Like, no, everybody likes me. I just like having fun. I don't piss people off. I don't steal from them. It's like, yeah, well, you were shot. I was, what now? You were shot, son. Okay.
Wow.
So note to self. Don't do that. New Year's Eve, 4th of July, shoot a gun into something, not up, because it'll probably come back down, and knowing me, I am the black hole vortex of pain here. It'll probably be me.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a story, dude. Wow.
I remember I was walking back to I went to my junior college was not in the best part of town. And I remember walking back from the computer lab because, when I went to college, nobody had computers in the room. You had like one room on campus. And walking back from the computer lab at about 9 o'clock at night, and somebody just dumps a whole clip. I don't know what he was shooting at or what they were shooting at, but just dumps a whole clip about half a block away. And we actually heard the whines off the ricochets is how close it was. So Unfortunately, the gentleman I was walking with was not running anywhere, so I had with him to not look like a wuss. Otherwise, I would have run.
Oh man, I hear gunshots. I'm gone. I'm running, dude. I'm gone. I don't care. Sorry, kids.
It's the same when I was struck by lightning. Ever since then, anytime a storm happens and I hear thunder, I'm like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
You said you were?
Yeah, I was struck by. You see this white streak in my hair right here?
Yeah.
I've had that ever since I was about 14 years old.
Holy shit.
Shut the front door, man.
Yes, a lot of you don't know these stories here. So I guess this is the first
Rob
time.
got
Episode
stories
20.
for days,
anniversary
man.
episode. So what wound up happening on this one, I was waiting for my dad to pick me up from Forest Glen Middle School. It's bright as day. It's like a normal day. It's blue out, not a cloud in the sky, at least as far as I remember. And I'm leaning up against a flagpole waiting for my dad to pick me up. And next thing I know, I am in an ambulance and paddles are being used on me. I'm not wearing one of my shoes because that was blown off of me. And what wound up happening, I'm leaning up against a flagpole. Lightning hits the flagpole. It travels through the flagpole, through me, and out my feet, blowing the shoe off of my foot. I was dead for 6 minutes. And you know what I saw? Nothing. So when you die, that's it. It's like turning the lights off, at least until someone turns the lights back on, and then you're just in an incredible amount of pain, and it feels like your entire body's on fire, which is strangely another sensation that I'm familiar with. So yeah, those are things that happened, and this has nothing to do with comic books, but here we are.
Happy New Year's, boys and girls.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
When you die, it's like the lights going out. Who wants to go on?
When you die, it's just it's all black. It's all black, and yeah, don't be scared.
Jesus, man. Jesus.
Yo, hey, Rob, man, they can't take you out though, bro. Like, you're a fucking dude. You're a soldier.
Yeah, Ricky's down here saying I got superpowers. No, man, I don't die. It's not that I'm immortal. It's just that I get super fucked up injured, which that reminds me, let's put that 18 and over. If you're under 18, you shouldn't be watching this.
No.
It's also 11:30 at night. Go to bed.
Mature content.
Oh, man. I wish you had superpowers. That would be fucking dope. But nope.
Lesson learned, don't go to Hollywood.
Yeah, don't ever go to Hollywood. Hollywood is where common sense and hope goes to die.
Oh my God.
Listen, Rob does have superpowers. His superpower is being alive after being hit by lightning.
Yeah, right. You just didn't know it. You can't. That's your superpower. You can't die.
Still being alive. That's a superpower right now, man.
Real. Oh my God.
I mean, if you think about it, lightning is enough power to send an entire DeLorean 30 years into the future. And that went through your body.
That is true.
This is science we're talking here. That's all.
This is science.
8.12 gigawatts or gigawatts, or you can't pronounce giga or giga.
Oh,
something like that. Hey, Perry, this is totally non sequitur, but you've got just the most awesomest mic. You do this a lot, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I need to get a better mic. Actually,
he's rich.
No, that's a great mic, man. That's a really.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, right?
It's pretty good. I like to get into the nitty gritty in my editing. So I bring up all the audio tracks and everything, and there's a couple things that just bug me about this. So I want to get a better one.
Oh, all right.
You recommend getting a fucking thing for?
I recommend getting a mic for $30 on Amazon. That works perfectly fine.
Nah, that's what I had, and I got the Yeti, bro. That's what I had, and you was making fun of it.
This is something I use. It's called a Samson Meteor microphone. I put it on a little stand, and this is what I have just off to the side, so it's not in the frame.
It looks like the one that Perry has, kind of.
It's very much similar, but as you'll probably notice when you listen to this on the replay, Perry's going to sound crystal clear Miracleman's going to sound crystal clear, and I'm going to sound a little bit fainter because the microphone is about a good 2 feet away from my face.
Oh.
We're supposed to be eating the mic.
Yeah, I
Or at
don't
least
know.
that's what I was
thought of
told
that.
by Terry Walgren.
I wonder
that's
how
a
mine
difference.
sounds. I watched the replay on ours yesterday, the New Year's, and man, the Wi-Fi, bro, has been messing up worse than ever, dude. Like every time, I have to do the hotspot every time. So the first 30 seconds, it was like, "Yo, circle, loading
no.
circle." I'm like, wow. But at least they know we went for fucking over 4 hours, so they're
I
like,
have
well,
2 timestamps for last night: 3 hours and 15 minutes and 3 hours and 38 minutes. I was slightly intoxicated, so I don't remember why I wrote those timestamps down. But I'm gonna go back and check them out.
Oh, that
man.
might have been the cookie scene that I had.
Oh, it might have been the cookie scene, showing people your ass
Dude,
cheeks.
but hey, biggest video I've ever done. I thought that one the night before was the
What was
biggest.
it, like 300-400 views?
It was 400, over 400 now. That's the best. I don't even have
Congrats, dude.
400
That's awesome.
subscribers, bro. So,
Congrats. That's
dang,
awesome,
dude,
man.
thank you all, man, for hanging out. Like,
awesome.
Rob was the
Awesome.
biggest. Rob soldiered through the entire time with me, dude. Even we talked for like an hour after, bro.
Oh, yeah. We could have kept going.
We could have. And I checked too. Somehow I think I have like an extra hour or something. I thought I only had 2 hours left. Somehow I got like, I think I have like 2.5. I have like, it literally does like by the minutes too. So 2 hours and like 20 minutes I got left.
Yeah,
So,
Downright Nerdy
What up,
Podcast.
Downright?
He's congratulating you.
He's getting ready to go. Hold on.
Thanks, Downright. Downright is my dude. He's the next up.
Yeah,
like
he's
Joe
awesome.
Rogan better
He's
look
got
out.
a legit setup, dude. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
hella
I want to
jealous.
replicate that.
He's got so many different DSLR cameras, and he's over there. I'm like, damn, dude.
Oh, we lost Miracleman.
He's coming back. I see him in
Yeah.
backstage, but I guess he's trying to hook up his stuff a little more. And we
Wait,
also
I
have with us
I need a
tonight.
guest for tonight.
I'm sorry?
No, Discovery needs a guest for tonight.
Yo,
on, JB.
we 3 of us right here, bro.
We're
Yeah.
here, dude.
We're ready. We can end this.
My
broadcast
man's
and
on the
right on
Cuban
over
coffee.
After the conclusion of this broadcast, we will be joining live Discovery Bay Disco.
Oh yeah.
But first, let's try and get Miracleman back in here. And it looks like my mouse.
Next JB's gonna be like, he's like, I said I needed a guest, not 3 guests.
all
Dumbass.
the guests.
I'm kind of happy that JB's doing this like midnight Eastern late night stream, so that way when I do my lurking, I could go from like 10 to midnight and not have to go until like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, finally,
like,
I have a
thank
cutting
God.
off point.
Isn't it hard though to cut off? Like
It is
it's
really
like
hard.
I love like hanging out, and I just don't like
Because
when
I'm like, yo, if I got 20 people watching me, I don't want them to stop.
I didn't
They're
even
having a good time.
last
I'm having
night.
a good time. Let's just keep going.
I felt bad. I was like, Rob, I hope I'm not disappointing you. Like I was so tired. I slept till 6 today.
Dude, I
Yeah,
woke up.
Thankfully, I got my video out though.
I woke up at 12.
Did you? Yeah, man. What time did you sleep till, Rob?
I got up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I had Sharon, Life with 2 YouTubers. She texted me at about 11 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to bed. That didn't happen because it was, okay, we have to go do lunch with the family. We got to do shopping and more shopping after that. And don't forget BJ's because we got to get food back in the house. I'm like, didn't we just go to BJ's? Oh, yeah. What day is it today? Wednesday. Wait a second. I did a show yesterday and I got comics yesterday. What day was yesterday? Tuesday. What's going on? Am I in reality anymore? Is this limbo period right after Christmas through around New Year's where you just don't know what day it is anymore? Right, Miracleman?
My internet is potato.
Man. I miss
Sorry.
BJ's.
BJ's.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, "Y'all gonna turn that?" I was like, "I'm waiting for the pun." But I used to go to my grandpa before he passed away. He used to take us every week or two to get like everything from BJ's because I got a big family. So he used to literally like buy. He's like, "Buy me what I need, and you guys get whatever." So he was like the greatest, man.
Heck yeah.
Rest in peace, man,
Right
to a real one.
Heck yeah.
Right on.
Let's see.
But yeah, I was waiting. Where's the
I'm gonna-
pun? Where's the BJ pun?
I'm gonna jump out and then I'll probably wind up going in JB's later on. I gotta finish editing this video. Corey.
all
If I don't do it now, I know I won't do it at all, and then I'll just go and I'll just procrastinate. So I appreciate you having me on, Mr. Rob.
No, I'm always glad whenever you come on the show. I think this is your first time on this particular show, and just something that Downright Nerdy has pointed out, and I just noticed that myself. So I'll pop that on the screen here.
Let's see.
If anybody hasn't already, go ahead, sub up to Not Near Mint. It's my channel, Rob Worst. I'm at 299 subscribers. Let's get it to 300 tonight.
What I'm going to do
I can
is
forget about it till we're up to 400 or 1,000 like Perry does.
Sub, make another account and sub him in.
I'm going to put you in my community tab right now. Go sub Mr. Rob.
So on that note, Perry, since you're about ready to jump out, is there anything that you want to go ahead, promote for your channel or any of your buddies, anything in particular you want to talk about?
Well, I'm going to be doing, hopefully I should be getting like a new fancy schmancy camera tomorrow. So I'll be doing like crazy amounts. I want to 2020, I think I'm going to have daily content by like end of February. I should have daily content. I should have a bunch of content coming out. But tomorrow I'll be doing my picks for next week, New Comic Book Day. I have a cover of the week video coming out. I have a couple Who Are They's coming out. So make sure you get the bell notification on my channel. And yeah, that's it pretty much.
All right. Well, again, thank you for coming on the show. If ever you need a guest, I'm around as long as I don't have work that's just ruining my life. So again, thank you. Have a great afternoon. Happy New Year, Perry. Go check out Perry if you haven't already. He does these lurking videos late at night where he shows you YouTubers that do comic books that you never would have seen otherwise.
No, we don't. No, we don't. He don't do them. He's been lacking.
All right, so moving on to the next subject that we have already here. And again, those that are watching this live, I'd like to thank the people in the chat room. We still have Downright Nerdy Podcast, 1-2 Comic Talk, who's Spawn, by the way. We learned that the other week. So we also have The Boy Who Had 7. If you're not familiar with him, he does Comic Gories, which is probably my favorite comic book game show that you will find on the internet. It's been a little while, but I'm looking forward to new shows starting soon. We also have The Art Chemist, who is a fantastic artist. Go look for him on Instagram. We still have Goat99 in the chat. We have my hiring attorney, Ricky Ricardo Rodriguez Vacas. Also, we still have in the chat room with us Patrick Wall, Discovery Bay Disco. If he wanted to jump on, I'd let him come in right in a second because he has a background that I want to start emulating soon with that blue, cool-looking light that he's got. So moving on with the rest of the show here. So aside from other comic book habits, good question. What do you think is the driving price of the market for comics going into 2020? I mean, is it going to be people like other YouTubers? Is it going to be the key collector app? Or is there possibly something that we aren't sure of that will pop up somewhere and go, oh God, we got to start getting this book? Do we see something coming along down the line that might be another Detective 880? Anything like that?
Well, for me, I'm not big on doing those future speculations myself. But I will say this: I feel be new media interpretations of comic characters, television, movies. They've been driving everything for quite a while now, and I don't see that letting up. They're now, and this is, I think, a little bit more sustainable of a speculator boom than the previous one because we're actually targeting comics of limited print runs, first appearances, first work by writers or artists. So they're definitely books that are going to be more sustainable from a value standpoint. But I think that's still going to be what's going to be driving us is just new media interpretations for several years to come.
All right, and I think I'm trying to send a link over now to JB at Discovery Bay Comics. So I've just sent that on over. So if you want to go ahead and jump on, feel free to join the discussion. Otherwise, Dylan, what do you think might be the big driving factor for comic books going into 2020? Is it the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Is it other YouTubers? Is it the Key Collector app? What is really driving the market, in your opinion?
Are we talking about like weekly books or like the keys, the ones that are spiking?
Everything.
Yeah, I'd say definitely the MCU. I mean, the MCU is a big reason why it made me want to get back into comics. So I think even, these noobs that, never really cared about the stuff their entire lives, they're like, man, these movies are dope. And, not everyone, but some people, they want more than just these movies. They want to get more info. So yeah, I'm sure, man, that is a big thing. The Key Collector app. Not necessarily myself, but I hear all the time that that's a big thing for a lot of people with the keys, when they're going dollar bin hunting and stuff, they're searching through that top 5 or top 10 list to see what's spiking so that they can get that book in their collection. I'm the type where I'm just really, I'm just buying what I like. I buy the characters that I like. I'm more story driven. So I wish that the books were a little bit cheaper, no doubt, because I think that they're kind of, I think like $2.99 would be the right price, or, these $5 books. And I just see the books kind of going higher. You see it more and more with the $9.99 books incoming, like the Hoxpox, all those issues were $4.99, everyone. And I was honestly scared that they were going to do the Dawn of X. I see all the issue 1s were $4.99. I was like, I pray to God that they are not about to do every book that, because I couldn't buy them all then. I couldn't. It's just that extra buck. It might not seem like a lot, but when you're buying a lot, that adds up, man. That adds up weekly. So I definitely think the MCU, the DC movies, that's a big thing. It definitely drives the books that they put out. When they got a movie coming close, they end up putting that book out so that somebody can kind of jump into that, I think the Key Collector app has been a big thing for some people. I haven't really, I've downloaded it and I've tried to get into it, but I think you got to pay for the big part of the app. So I ended up not really caring. And plus, like I said, I'm more of the story driven guy. I'm just going to read what I like. If the book is worth some money in the end, cool. I'm happy to say that I got a book that I love is worth a few bucks, because most of the books in my collection are not going to really ever be worth much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I spend that $5 and that next day, like that week later, that book, I could try to sell it. I'd probably get $2-3 if I'm lucky. You know what I mean? So I think that it is a big thing though, like the MCU and all that. I think it's a big thing keeping the comic community still alive though. I think the last couple years have been probably better than it's been in a while for the comic book community. Like, just so many more people are getting into it or back into it. You see more and more nowadays, like 1-2. He just got back into it. He was into it when he was younger, and now he's back into it. You know what I mean? So, it's different for everybody, but I really hope they don't, keep going up with the prices, because it's just ridiculous. Like, you're seeing all these $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, the $9.99, and it's like I'm having a rough time with the $3.99, $4.99. So the $3.99 ain't really that bad, but
whatever happened to drawing the line at $2.99?
Right. That would, and the thing is,
I'd
be buying way more.
Come on,
if you guys did that, I'd be buying so much more too. I think, like,
drop the price and I will pick up everything.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of everything, we have beneath me right now, JB.
Hey fellas, how you doing, man? Dylan, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%, man. The prices are getting out of control, but I like at least what DC is doing, where you get the extra card stock for the extra buck.
Yeah,
give me something. Right. Don't just raise the freaking price. Give me, tell me I'm raising the price because I'm getting better paper quality. I'm getting, something. I'm getting more pages. Something. Yeah. Give me, okay, if it's going to continue to go to $3.99, $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, give me more pages. Give me more story. We'd be willing to pay for it, I bet.
Bueller made a great point the other day on his Coffee and Comics. Marvel books are just they're cheap. They're cheaply made. My Star Wars book, the staples ripping out, so the book is like trash right now. I gotta send it back. I've
gotten brand new books where the cover's detached.
Dude,
you know. I mean, the quality of their stuff right now is no bueno, but they're trying to charge premium dollars.
You ever get like a tiny little drip of water? Your hands are maybe sweaty. Bueller made a fantastic point. The paint comes right off, dude. It's like I made the tiniest drop on my Thor book. I'm like, oh my god, like my Thor book. And thankfully, like it was able to not really be a big deal. But it's like, what the fuck are you doing, Marvel? You're supposed to be the big dog. Like you're supposed to be setting the example.
Another thing that DC actually had a good year when you look back on this. One, I like their strategy on variants. And I find myself buying more cover Bs than cover As. But the things I collect, I get both.
Yeah.
Batman, I'm getting both covers. Been getting both covers for forever, right? And it doesn't kill you because they don't have 50 fucking covers. But
just
what they're doing right now with the Black Label, where I want to read more adult-oriented stories, and I want to see the cursing and the, let's get in. Now they're charging the primo watch. Dude, we're already used to it. What is it, $6.99, $7.99 now? Yeah. When you start paying for these Black Label books, these big premium format stuff, dude, it's going to be $10 before we know it, man. On that kind of shit.
But we're still going to buy it.
We are. Yeah.
But at least we're not getting ads. We're not getting ads. Have you noticed DC starting to put the ads in the back of the book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed that. I mean, they need to just cut them out, period. But they're doing something right.
Fucking Perry.
Ads in the
Give
middle.
Me Harley boobies. Give me Harley's boobies already.
Dude, I was so mad with Batman Damned when they cut that out. I wanted it.
You could tell they cut it out too. You could almost see where they drew over the top. You're like, dude, this was about to get crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that Batman Damned was supposed to be crazy. And they caved to the pressure.
Yeah, man. Anyway. So it's like you go Batwang, but you don't go Harley boobies. You fucking assholes.
Actually, they were going to be putting Harley's boobies in the book inside of, I think, White Knight, or no, the first series that Murphy was doing on that. So I know that they were going to release a version under a 18 plus label. They posted a scene of Joker and Harley in bed together where breast fully exposed. I guess I should probably throw this back up here just in case, since we're talking about this.
Yeah.
18 and over, kids. Sorry.
Over. There you go.
Oh, I'm going to throw back in here Kevin, 1-2 Comics. We know
Kevin
as live action Spawn.
Kevin. What's up, brother?
Yeah, aka live action Spawn for the rest of your life in the comic book community.
Yeah, and that story, you go check out my live stream.
Right? The epic live stream, which is already over 400 views.
Yo, the biggest video I've done yet. Thank you all, bro, for hanging. I couldn't have done it without.
Still not worth more than $2.99. There you
go. Hey, Rob, the answer part of the initial part of the question is like, how is this driving the market and all that? A big part of it is all this new streaming stuff and all this new content that people have access to. That's what's also driving the market too. So what you're seeing is a new resurgence of people looking for new content, and where they're finding it is in comics. Plus, failed individuals that may not have been able to sell novels, they're going to the comic scene because they're realizing it's not that far stretch to go to a graphic novel, mini graphic novel, however you want to look at a comic, from a novel. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of finding other individuals that will take time to instruct them in the ways of it. Obviously it's not an easy, lateral move. But my point being is there's so much more stuff out there that people are looking for content. So you're now seeing, I think the drive in the market in part is streaming services and stuff like that are buying stuff up. And it isn't even just so they can release it as much as they can secure it.
And in the end, we're just going to want to continue on with whatever the core series that we've been reading since we were a kid, or even in the last couple months.
Doesn't change anything.
It ranges from 50 cents to 75, $1, $1.25, $1.75, $2, $2.99. They're on the line at $2.99. Oh, wait. You have an annual, $3.99. we're blowing up even bigger.
$4.99.
Yeah.
$4.99.
Double size issue though. Double size issue.
$8.99. And wait,
Yeah.
Marvel 1000 and Detective 1000 for
Oh,
$10.
Dude, not only that, I sold freaking this like Tales of in Love or something. They were $9.99. I've sold for $3 today. $3 in the pop-up shop. These DC $9.99 double-sized, goofy Christmas edition. What the hell was I thinking buying?
Yeah, they don't. They
I know. I
very
won't
rarely.
buy them. I
They
won't
very
buy
rarely
them.
do anything.
Crazy.
Yeah.
JB,
Defender
I will buy 2 or 3 sets of something. I mean, I'll buy an A, B, and a C of something. But if it's $5, $6, $7 or more, then I'm just okay. It's what cover do I really want?
Right.
So essentially, they lose money by charging more money for a single issue than squeezing more money out of me by me buying 3 and giving them an extra $1 or $2.
Yeah, but you know what? There's got to be a cost break analysis out there where they figure out how many people are still willing to buy every single cover at $8 a pop.
Yeah,
there's nobody doing that anymore. Come on.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's they exist.
Well, that's true. Big Lion Cat's trying to get 175 copies of what was it? God, man, what's that? DC Damned? What is he buying? I can't remember. He wants it's a DC. Is it Damned? I can't remember what the fuck it is now. It's a 6-issue miniseries, but with all the different variants, it ends up being 137 different covers.
Right
and
on.
he's going after all of them. He's going after all of them.
It might have been Deceased because they had the horror variant.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They had the like Messina horror.
He's going after
variant.
every single Deceased. Thank you very much, Art Kevin.
That's a lot of covers,
That's
man.
crazy.
I just got
the
horror one. I got the horror variants, like homage ones.
How many covers were there to spawn? 300.
Someone looked this up. I think we looked
20
at
at least.
Modern Man. I think it's documented that the most covers was like a G.I. Joe or something, or some goofy. Was it or something even crazier, like some Godzilla or just some crazy?
Oh,
thing
actually,
have so many covers, but it did.
Yes, and I have
surprised it
one
wasn't
from a local
X-Men.
comic shop.
You have one.
It was a Godzilla.
It was a Godzilla.
And that's because they did where Godzilla. I'll have to go dig it out. Godzilla's stepping on the building, and you could put the name of your shop there, and it was a really low order requirement to get your own custom cover because it was all the same picture. It was just a sign out front that they just change, put your shop on there and sell it to you. Hold on, let me go dig that out.
You know what? I believe that's what
Godzilla movie.
Amazing Spider-Man 666 is the same thing as they had a exclusives where you can mail in your shop logo and they would put it on the cover, and that's why people are after those things now, is because there weren't very many people that actually did it.
I know, right? I knew Bueller called that shit, man. The day these things came out, he said, "Don't go crazy with that Tech 1000. Don't do it. You're gonna see all this shit in the dollar bins eventually." And sure as shit, they're showing up in Bueller boxes. Those are dollar books, guys. So,
That's why I got the
I
A
gotta
cover.
jump out and fresh on my cocktail. I'm gonna be going on live here in 7 minutes. I've sent the invite out. I'm gonna send some more invites out. If anybody wants to come on over, I'll see you. I'm not trying to kill your stream or anything, but I do want to get a cocktail before this thing starts.
Guess, we're willing, and I don't want to run.
I've already sent you an invite.
Awesome.
You sent all of us?
Dylan, I don't have your email. I think I sent it to your Instagram, or I'm going to send it to your Instagram.
I'll send you my email though, so you could save it for future.
Yep. All right. So I'll catch you guys in a bit.
So
Later.
let's just do this really quickly because I know you're about to start. So first, I'm just going to do around the room so everybody can promote themselves really quick. Let's start with JB because after we are finishing this in about 2 minutes, we're going to all jump on over to JB.
Disco After Dark.
So
you don't have to promote me. Disco After Dark. 7 minutes. I'll be on Disco After Dark. Come on over and I'll promote the shit out of myself. Thanks, fellas. Don't forget, we had a good time.
Hell yes. Thank you so much, JB. See you in a minute. Okay, going up next. How about Miracleman? Do you have anything you want to promote on your Twitter or anything that's coming up that you're looking forward to?
No, I didn't want to promote anything, but I did want to show real quick. This is that book with the crazy amount of covers.
Hold on 1 second. My mouse is freezing, so let me just.
Oh, no problem, buddy.
I hate when it does that.
Especially in the middle of a broadcast. There you go. Okay,
There
go
we
ahead.
go. All right, so this is that Godzilla, Kingdom of Monsters #1. There's the only part that really changes on every cover. Name of the shop. This is Dreamscape Comics. I think this was Bethlehem, Pennsylvania is where this shop was. That's not where I bought it, but that's where the shop was. And in the back, it actually shows you all the variants, all the variant covers that you can get.
Oh my God.
And it is all the same cover.
Just different shop names.
Just different shop names. So 2 full pages or 4 full pages there.
That's a cool.
That's awesome. All right,
That's
call
pretty
me
cool.
Geeky because I think that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, if you're the type of person that likes to get books for just variant covers, man, that's a hell of a hunt right there.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. Godzilla Kingdom of Monsters #1 IDW. I have Dreamscape and none of the others. If anybody else has some, stop on by, maybe see me at Twitter and post yours.
Go find him.
Bueller said he has like 7 of them.
Here's a little reminder for those that aren't aware. Miracleman is not on Instagram. He is only on Twitter. You can find him at Kimota1977. So thank you. It was great as always, Miracleman. I didn't call you by your first name for I think 10 episodes in a row. I'm getting good at this. I might even want to ask you what your last name is. I don't even know what his last name is, folks. I'm afraid of saying it. So as always, Happy New Year, Miracleman. Thank you. We'll be back next Wednesday. So for the next person to promote themselves, since Dylan, you've been on here the longest, let's throw that up here. Go ahead and promote yourself, Dylan.
Yo, what's up, guys? My name's Dylan. I'm running Dylan's Comic Book Rants. You could check me on all social media outlets under Dylan's Comic Book Rants. Just dropped my weekly pickups rant, or my weekly pickups review video, the first video of 2020 that I did. Happy New Year, my guys. We'll have a lot more stuff coming soon. 2020 is going to be absolutely nuts. If you've been watching the live streams lately, man, we like to get wild and we like to have fun and we like to just hang out and just shoot the shit. And 2020 is going to be nuts, man. I can't wait to see what the future holds for all of us.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a good one, man. Plus, I do the weekly videos every week. And I got the live show Monday, the What's New This Week. So we'll talk about what's coming out that weekly, what comes out new that week. And we just shoot the shit most of the time because we get through those weekly books pretty quick. And then we just shoot the shit for a couple hours.
Oh, yeah. All right. So last, but certainly not least, we have Kevin. Go ahead and promote yourself. Do you have anything on your YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, anything that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, my name's Kevin. My son and I, we do 1-2 Comic Talk. It's a show of father and son talking about basically pop culture. And the big thing that we like to do is we like to promote local comic book shops, creators, artists. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. And, of course, here on YouTube. So, hey, community, you want to see a little bit of a different show? Definitely plug in the locals. Come to 1-2 Comic Shop. And make sure you subscribe to Rob Worst. If you haven't already, hit that like. Give us a positive comment. We love you, community.
Hell yeah, bro.
The entire community. Thank you so much tonight, everybody. Just a reminder, after the conclusion of this episode, we are having an after party, and that after party will be held at Discovery Bay's channel. We are just 3 minutes past midnight. It is now January the 2nd. So for those that have joined us live, I'd like to thank you. Again, we are weekly, every week, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. My name's Rob Worst, and this is the Not Near Mint crew. We look forward to you joining us every Wednesday, 10 p.m. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't, because you'll be the 300th. And thank you.
Hey, congrats. You already hit 301, my guy.
Oh, that is awesome.
Waiting for you to congrats, bro. For real.
Thank you so much.
Yo, 1K is next, bro. 1K is next.
That's next.
Hey, that's my 2020 goal is to get to 1K.
It's not something that I want to work so hard that I burn myself out, because I have work for that.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy the community. So for those that are still watching, those 20 people, we're going to end this broadcast now at 12:04 a.m. Go over to JB's channel at Discovery Bay Comics and pick up where this show is leaving off. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Read more comics.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Peace out, y'all.